Hello, Al Pals. This is Big Al. Welcome to Big Al Presents. And today, Big Al presents his opinions about this article that I read today on Yahoo, uh, containing some possible plot points that may be influenced by the one of the early conceptual scripts for Return of the Jedi. Um, Before I start, I would like to say I usually don't comment too much on the Star Wars news. One, because it's so wildly unpredictable. Don't know what's true. Don't know if this is true. It could be all false for all I know. But I want to talk about it. And another reason is that my more positive outlook for the franchise is directly opposed to the opinions held by Fanman and Professor Geek. But you know what? This is Big Al Presents, so I am presenting my opinion. Uh, my opinion about Last Jedi is pretty well known from those who are fans of the Professor Geek show. I don't have nearly the negative opinion of it. Not the greatest movie in the world, and a lot of issues that, could have been a lot different and very much improved upon. But enough of Last Jedi. Let's move on. We got Rise of Skywalker coming out. And according to Dom Miro of Esquire, who 11 hours ago when this popped up on Yahoo, I am just seeing it. The original Star Wars Return of the Jedi ending might hint at a big Rise of Skywalker twist. What could that be? I don't know. I don't even know if it's true. But I wanted to do a video, so I'm here. Here's well, first of all, great picture of the original Jedi ending. Picture with the original Anakin. Thank God, you know, I know, I know George likes to play with things, but he didn't need to put Hayden Christensen in this thing. In the special editions, he could have left it just like it was. Um, but anyway, from Esquire. Star Wars fans consider George Lucas's space opera to be our generation's modern mythology. Very much so. I think many people would agree. I think Professor Geek would agree wholeheartedly. May not be the primary mythology, but it is definitely highly influential in uh, with today's culture. In fiction, the lore spans thousands of years with entire galaxies of histories and stories. And even in the early days of the original trilogy, Lucas had ideas that he never got to explore in his first films. Today, a Lucasfilm creative art manager, Phil Sostak, uploaded some early concepts behind Return of the Jedi, offering fans on Twitter a very intriguing look at the original ideas behind the film's so-called Force Ghosts. Of course, this is becoming very relevant because, as we all saw, Luke Skywalker seemingly passed into the Force at the end of Return of the Jedi. At the end of The Last Jedi. And it seems that he plays a significant role in this film, mostly as a Force Ghost. We are, theorizing. But anyway, to continue, and if Lucas's concept work has had any effect on the filmmakers working on the franchise today, it totally has. Yeah, add that in there. Then these script pages may contain some exciting details about how the Force Ghost in the upcoming Rise of Skywalker may function in the film's epic battles. I've read the parts of the script, and I will again. I think some of it's kind of weird. Definitely one part. But I think the others are feasible, and I'll get to that in a minute. Um, so so Stack, sorry if I'm butchering his name, points out that the February 1981 draft of Jedi, which was written by Lawrence Kasdan and George Lucas, had the spirits of Yoda and Obi-Wan Kenobi actually aiding in the final battle, final fight between Luke Skywalker and Emperor Palpatine. Unlike in the actual movie, where the ghosts merely appear in the film, ending to essentially wave goodbye to our heroes, this draft has the two deceased Jedi protecting Luke from Palpatine's lightning shocks. I like that concept. I think that's doable. If you have enough power to reappear, then I don't see why it wouldn't be feasible that the Force Ghost could show up and be able to influence, still have some influence on the Force, possibly blocking or diverting Force lightning. This concept was, of course, altered before the film was released in 1983. For instance, the Emperor refers to Luke's friends in the Netherworld in the script. That is, we don't know much about the afterlife in Star Wars, but we definitely never heard of the Neverworld before in any canon stories of the franchise's history. I've never heard of it. I've never read any book that's ever mentioned it. Not that I'm wholeheartedly into the expanded universe or legends, as they like to say now. But here's a copy of Phil's. I'll just call him Phil. Phil's tweet in George Lucas's February 1981 rough draft: Return of the Jedi, Obi-Wan and Yoda return from the Netherworld to aid Luke Skywalker in his battle with the Emperor. The Jedi, including Luke's father Anakin, are later seen resurrected at the Ewok celebration. I guess that was the original name for the Ewoks. But yes, resurrected. I'll get that in a minute. You gotta love Palpatine and his Force lightning. For one, he starts the article off with. But here's some of the dialogue that he included. The Emperor turns his back on Vader and faces the young Jedi, raising his hands in the air, which causes lightning bolts to strike at Luke. The Jedi raises his hand in defense, and the bolts are deflected by an invisible shield. Wherever a bolt hits, the image of Ben or Yoda momentarily appears at the point of impact. And then the Emperor says, "Your friends in the Netherworld cannot protect you for long, young Skywalker." So that was one thing we didn't get to see, but I think that would have been cool. Then, after the battle, and during the celebration, Luke goes off into the woods by himself, and Luke sits on a log with his head in his hands. The sounds of the celebration only serve to make him feel worse. A familiar voice breaks his melancholy. Ben's voice. "Luke, you should be celebrating. The Emperor is gone, and there is a future for the galaxy." Luke looks up and sees Ben moving out of the darkness into the moonlit glade. He is not a shimmering image, but real flesh and blood. Luke stands in surprise. "Ben, you've come back. My need to stay in the Netherworld has been resolved. Your father turned to the good side, and I was able to disrupt his journey." Luke turns to see an old man emerge from the darkness of the forest. "Ben, here is the good Skywalker, my old friend and your father." Luke rushes to his father and embraces him. Yoda steps into the glen and looks up at them. This is of them, but typos. Yoda, "A reason for celebration this is." Quietly watching the festivities from the side is Yoda, the Jedi Master. He scans the crowd, picking out R2, 3PO, Lando and Chewie, Han and Leia, and finally Ben, Luke, and his father. He lets out a great sigh. I have mixed feelings about that ending. If it was truly intended, I don't know if this is whatever. I'm just reading what a guy tweeted. Um, if true, and a Jedi can come back to life, I don't think that's the way they should go. I definitely think that could. I don't know. I just think it's the wrong way to go. Because if they bring Luke alive now, it's kind of a spit in the face to everyone who's liked Luke and had to deal with his demise, his sacrifice, whatever you want to call it. Um, and the possibility of all these Jedi come back to life, I kind of think that would have been um, something we'd have heard of by now, because I'm sure it's not the first time that a Jedi has been so powerful that they might wanted to have come back. I know the Sith have been playing around with immortality, but you haven't really heard about it about the Jedi. But having a Force Ghost be able to protect someone as a shield, I'm good with that. I'm okay with that. I could see that being an interesting concept, but little hesitant about the resurrection. Well, let's get back to the article. Also included in the scripts is a different ending in the film. Okay, I've mentioned all this um, about the old gazers of the Jedi actually coming back to life in corporeal form, not the bluish apparitions like the ending of the film we've come to know and love today. Um, let me skip all that. But this all may be key into understanding how the Force ghosts of Rise of Skywalker may function within the conclusion of the long-running Skywalker saga. It's been confirmed that Mark Hamill will appear in this new film. There have been rumors swirling around now that Hayden Christensen, who played Anakin Skywalker as in the Star Wars prequel trilogy, will return in some form to portray the moody Jedi turned Sith turned Jedi boy. Yeah, that's about. I'm not the biggest Hayden Christensen fan. Ewan McGregor, of course, is getting closer and closer to being able to pull Alec Guinness's old man look from when he was a Force ghost at the end of Return of the Jedi, and rumors have been floating around for a while that our dear puppet friend Yoda will be showing up in Skywalker again as well. I don't mind seeing them, but there's also been rumors about lots of flashbacks and things like that. There's so many possibilities, so many rumors. I just hope they don't bring people back to life, because I think that would be such a huge cheat. I say let the dead stay dead. Let them be a part of the Force, which is what they're supposed to be. So we know there's a big potential for Force Ghosts in this film. It's almost a given that we'll see a few, especially since J.J. Abrams seems quite concerned with tying off loose ends and paying tribute to the original films of the franchise. I just heard the Professor and Fan Man kind of explode a little. Explode, uh, throw up, something. I'm sure. I feel that. I feel the disturbance in the Force for that. I feel something just happened with that sentence. A lot of Star Wars fans were upset with Luke's death in Last Jedi. Hashtag duh. Could this be how Abrams plans to redeem the character in the final film, giving his Force ghost a bit of agency in the big battle against Palpatine? Luke, after all, was able to send out his Force hologram at the end of Last Jedi to fake out Kylo Ren and save the Resistance. It's not hard to imagine that the deeply powerful Jedi has some tricks up his sleeve after death. As long as it's after death, I'm okay. You know, and I will, because the first thing I thought of when I read about this whole thing was actually, and smartly done for the author of this article to end with, because as Obi-Wan said at the end of A New Hope, if you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine. And you're not going to be as powerful as more powerful you possibly imagine, being corporeal again. But I'm sure Luke has a, I'm not going to say a big role, but I think a significant role in the film. Uh, Ultimately, Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, and Abrams are going to do what they're going to do. Uh, we're not going to know until Episode 9 comes out just how well or badly they have done it. Uh, I still want to see it. I know a lot of fans have said no more for me. I respect that. You're perfectly, you know, able to do what you want to do or not want to do. But there are a lot of people that still want to know what happens for the sake of, you know, for sake of one getting the completion done, uh, to see it wrapped up, and just for, just for closure. And that's 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 me. I want a little closure in this trilogy, which I've seen. I still will hold that Force Awakens is a much better film than many think it is. Uh, but Last Jedi was deeply flawed, but not a dumpster fire like people thought it was. Yes, there are a lot of things that could have been changed, taken out, edited, added in, and a few story points. And of course, would have been much more palatable. But almost went palatine there. Sorry about that. I know a lot of people would have loved Luke to come out as the kick-ass, badass Jedi. So would I. I would have loved to have seen that. I would have liked to have seen Luke go full Yoda from Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. See him flipping around and with his lightsaber. I think that would have been awesome. And sadly, we didn't get that. But like I said, your mileage may vary on the upcoming film. I'm sure there'll be fans that love it. There'll be fans that hate it, and there'll be fans who fall in the areas in between. And I'm sure I'll be at least in between somewhere because people know me. I tend to like things. So, but that's all I have to say. I just wanted to run this article through the old brain process, kind of get my opinions out there. Just a reminder for everyone to tune in, of course, to Professor Geek. Check out his channel. Check out the Fan Man's channel. And the Fan Man, in cooperation with Lord Grimsley's Manor, which I believe is something like www.lordgrimsley.com. Check out his channel for the actual 100% address. I think that's what it is, but be sure, check out the Fan Man's channel. You could save 10% on your Halloween purchase, on your Halloween mask needs, if you use FanMan10 in the discount bar on their website. So good reason to check it out. Plus, if you just like looking at Halloween stuff, it's gorgeous stuff. Oh my god. I can't wait for Halloween just because I love looking at that to put me in the Halloween mood. But, like I said, keep tracking me. I don't post a lot, but I'm going to try to change that. I keep saying that. Keep an ear out for anytime I might go live. Keep track of any new videos I do, and check out my review site, Big Al's Review-O-Rama. Check out Iconic Batman and Iconic Universal Monsters on Facebook, and also Maids and Monsters on Facebook. It's a work of love that my Facebook page is, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope everyone has a nice day. May the force be with you. Take care.